Hello guys, today that another session in the Python programming is interpreter, Python shell and indentations in lesson number 3. So here interpreter, we know that a different translators. Compiler is the translator, assembler is the translator, interpreter is also a translator. Main aim of this are translators which converts high level language into machine level language. Here in this Python, that translator is interpreter. It read line by line and immediately execute. Done by PVM, Python virtual machine. Bytecode to machine code. Here that diagram represents a source code program. So that is compiled. After compilation, it produces a bytecode. That bytecode is interpreted by PVM, so which converts machine code, so that output is displayed on the computer monitors. Here Python virtual machine, this is the architecture. Compiler, bytecode converter, interpreter, translator, Python memory manager. That memory is represented in Python by the interpreter is like that. Interpreter, memory management, and memory representation. Actually, how does Python interpreter works? Lexing, parsing, compiling, interpreting. So here in the system software, we know that a lexing, the lexer breaks the line of code into tokens. After that, parsing, the parser uses these tokens to generate a structure called an abstract syntax tree to depict that relationship between these tokens. Compiling, the compiler turns that AST means abstract syntax tree into code objects. Interpreting, the interpreter executes each code object. Python shell. In that Python shell, we have to execute Python programs into two ways or in the two modes. One is the interactive mode, another one is the scripting mode. Here in this interactive mode, so then interpreter in interactive mode knows the Python shell. Interpreter waits to enter a command. Great for testing small chunks of code. The statement entered in the Python shell are not saved. Good for single line statement, immediately display output. No need to use print function to display the result. In three various ways can start the Python shell. One is the IDE, interactive development learning environment, python.exe, using a command prompt. So here Python shell means here that IDLE, interactive development learning environment. So derived from name of an actor, Eric Idle. Eric Idle. So then comes as a default implementation with Python. Good learning environment for beginners, suitable for education industry. Here that Python, that prompt, it in the above shell triple greater than symbol specifies the Python prompt. Here some features of ideally interactive development learning environment. Syntax highlighting, a multi-window text editor, program animation or stepping, breakpoints are available, call stack visibility, setting the Python dynamic index. Here Python shell, second one python.exe, third one using command prompt. Here script mode means a multiple script for processing runs a program from the source file. To execute a set of statements multiple times and need to save in a file. By convention, all Python programs have .py extension. Use any editor like Notepad, Notepad++ or tool to write and can use idle, shell, command prompt or other tools to execute the saved Python scripts. Execute the script in command prompt by typing the command Python, then file name .py is the extension. Here is an indentations. Indentation means creating the blocks. To create block or represent a block of code, that is either a function, class, flow control statements, etc. Flow control statements means if statement, else statement, for while statements like that. A statements of same indentation level forms a block. Python syntax relies heavily on white spaces. If A is greater than B, here is a colon. Now it starts an indentation. Print first number is larger. Else print second number is larger. Here two both print statements that represents the indentation. Now come to the summary of this session. Third session is Python interpreter. Within that Python interpreter, Python virtual machines, Python shell, then indentations. Thank you very much.